Good morning, good evening, good afternoon, and welcome to another episode of Living World of Darkness, Rage Across New York. In the wake of the only moments ago display, front Olaf's cabin, Maebh is trotting off in her own direction. Olaf's either hanging out on the porch or potentially gone inside by now, and Lucas has wandered back probably towards the boys' cabin. And, well, Maebh can't really go inside, but she can find a nice little place to sleep out of doors. And as something of a comfort while she's stuck outside, she seems to have acquired some blankets. It's easy to tell that she's acquired blankets because they have been draped across her, and the outrageous little wolf is just kind of trotting along in the snow with her nose barely visible poking out of the front of one of the blankets, with the ends trailing along to her either side. If a lupus could play I'm a Ghost, she would be succeeding. So, not terribly able to see, but well familiar with the area. Maebh is just kind of trotting, probably in search of somewhere to bed down, and not too far away from the cabins or the rock or any of that, and looking like an asshole.
And then from the downwind, she'll catch a whiff of cigarette smoke.
Goodness knows that at this point, Maebh can probably identify people by the type of cigarettes they smoke. So, in a comical sort of gesture, she will kind of pause and throw her nose up and snuffle with the blanket still half draped over her face. It'll probably fall back from one eye and over an ear, so she's got one ear poking up, but she'll snuff, 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 and kind of look around now that she's got an eye visible.
And she will see Garrett approaching the rock.
And she will probably call it something of an idle woof in his direction. Nothing demanding, but just an, oh my god, hi!
And he'll look in Maev's direction. He'll give a wave, and then he'll keep walking towards the rock.
Oh, how does she catch up and not lose the blankets? They can't get skimmed off. No! She'll make something of an attempt to about face and start trotting back. And as the blankets slowly slide down off her head and down her back, she'll kind of, no! In lupus, and then finally give up and snap back to Hamid so she can catch them up.
Eventually, Garrett makes his way to the rock and takes a seat under the little shelter and the tarps, you know.
Shelter and tarps, you say?
Well, there's some stuff going on there.
Aha. I've not been abreast of the situation on the rock. Well, Maebh will gather up her blankets in her arms and kind of roll them around into a bundle, keeping the slightly snow-wetted edges dangling, and turn to follow him along and head towards said rock.
And once he sees Maeve get to the rock, it's clear she wants something. So, what's going on?
Not a lot. Just got my ass kicked by Olaf. I mean, I knew he was going to kick my ass, but... Oh, yeah.
Like, closed fists beating you down? What?
Oh, yeah. He kind of has been changing his approach, and with this new cub, he's gotten even harsher. So I wanted to tell him that he could do what he needed to do and lighten up a little, like he has been. And he didn't believe me, so I told him to spar me. And he kicked my ass.
Okay. Sparring.
You think I'd be this chipper about it if he'd actually kicked my ass? There'd be like tears and snot all over you. It'd be ridiculous.
No, I suppose you're right. So New cub, you say?
Oh, yeah. You didn't hear about that?
I have not.
So, a couple of us really wanted to just get off Sept. You know, not necessarily far, just get out and feel like we had some freedom. And we heard, Eric mumbling about wanting to go out for drinks and suggested that he should do just that and realized he was too young to buy. But, Lucas and Talia aren't. So we made a trade off and he took us out and we were going to buy him beer. We didn't succeed in buying him beer.
But you found a first change.
Yeah. He and Talia ran into each other after she got the pitcher and it got spilled all over him. And there was some temper flaring. And then a giant Kratos in the bar. No casualties.
He changed from a drink getting spilled on him.
Well, then, of course, the two of them started arguing and there was some shoving involved. I mean, Arun, that'll happen.
Yeah. So
to be fair, he was rude.
Still rude?
No, he's been pretty good, really. I mean, he's still, just new. I don't think he's even had a chance to really get his personality back about him. He's just kind of nodding as an ass ton of information is being thrown at him.
Yeah.
But he seems okay. I mean, he hasn't had any weird tweaks or anything. But yeah, he changed. Luckily, Aaron was over there doing something in the bar, so he got the cameras inside, and the delirium took care of everything else, and we just kind of doggy-piled. Walked him back.
No casualties?
Nope.
Well done.
Nope. He scuffled with Talia and Lucas until, and actually, Senna got a really good tackle in. But they managed to get him on the floor and just kind of laid there and held him down until he stopped foaming. And then we rushed him into the bathroom, went through a mirror, and very carefully walked back to Sept.
He grins when you mention Senna getting a good tackle in.
Oh, yeah. She looks, when she says it, she kind of lights up. She's obviously pretty proud of the shot Senna got in.
So, new cub. You get your ass kicked by Olaf. That's no surprise.
I did a lot better than I used to. Lucas kicked his ass back.
Huh?
Oh, yeah. She grins. Big, impish smile.
I'll have to ask Lucas about that later.
Oh, you should. I bet he'll enjoy telling the story once he gets over the shock.
Mm-hmm.
He froze up. I tried to get him to go for a Gaia's breath. He just stared at him, laying there in the snow. Then he had to help me haul him onto the porch.
So, any other news I should know about?
Oh, Tapper, chin, idly in thought. Oh, well, there's some potential shenanigans we'll have because Katori had himself an idea. But, that all depends on Olaf, and he seemed pretty grumpy about it, so I don't know if that'll go anywhere.
What idea is that?
Well, I mean, have you seen what Lucas and I have been up to with the traps and stuff?
I haven't seen it. I've heard about it, though.
Yeah, every day we sidestep for an hour, and I form traps in the Umbra, and we take turns stepping into them and getting caught in them, and then have to get ourselves out, or get each other out if the first one can't. We're trying to get to the point where we can do it on reflex, do it by rote, so that we don't have to use higher thought to get ourselves or other people out of traps. So I told Katori about it, and he liked what we were doing, but didn't like that it was just the two of us, and suggested that we trap up a section of the northern woods and run all the cubs through and make them learn how to handle being caught, getting out of being caught, and have Olaf and maybe Laughing Shadow chase us.
Yeah, makes sense.
Yeah. Olaf is pretty wound tight about other people happening across the traps and whatnot. I told him he could just, cordon off an area, but he seems pretty worried about it, so he's going to talk to Miss Whisper. But yeah, I figured if we can get a couple really clever folk, maybe gather up the Ragabashes, get them to set a bunch of traps out there, unmarked and whatnot, run us through, get some people who can be scary enough to harry us as we go, because, well, we're going to have to deal with people's dogs, hunting dogs.
Mm-hmm.
She shrugs. It seemed like a good idea. Olaf wasn't hype about it. Lucas didn't seem very hype about it either.
Okay. You're going to need to prepare yourself any way you can, so... Yeah.
She nods.
Good idea.
Been doing everything I can think of.
Is there anything else in particular you wanted to talk to me about? Because I don't think you came over here just to tell me you got your ass kicked and...
She knits her brow a little bit. I used to just talk to you for fun.
Yeah, but you always, there was always something.
She'll grin a bit. I mean, I've got shit, but I don't know what you could possibly do with it besides tell me I'm worrying about it too much or that there's nothing I can do.
I may surprise you.
You might. You're pretty good at it. Okay, fine. And she'll, at this point, she's been just kind of standing and idly chattering so she can wave her arms around. But at this point, she'll kind of look for a place to sit and probably find a lower point of the boulder or an adjacent rock to plant her ass on. So, how much do you know about the whole plan for Wolfhome and what we're expected to do? Besides, live.
Yeah.
I mean, that's the obvious goal.
All I know is that you and the other cubs are going to Wolfhome, and you got to make it back out. I know that when you go to Wolfhome, you lose your human mind.
Mm-hmm. So, I mean, that's all well and good, as it is. I mean, at this point, it's hit a point of acceptance. There's no real fussing about it. And, I mean, I know that Olaf is going, and Kotori's trying to go. But, I mean, it kind of makes sense that when we're in the Umbra, I'd be expected to lead the Cubs, because, Theurge, that's what we do. But when we get there, and she kind of sighs and loses a bit of the cheer, kind of gets real. When we get there, Miss Whisper, I don't know why I keep trying to call her that. Miss Whisper has said that it's still an umbral realm, and even though we won't have our higher thought and won't understand those complex ideas, I'd still be the Theurge, and I'm still meant to lead the Cubs. And, I mean, I'd be trying my best to take care of them anyways, and trying my best to make sure we took the best route. But I didn't expect to have everyone looking to me. And once we get there, I'm not even sure they will, because I'm not the strongest and I'm not the fastest.
Does she really, truly believe that you should lead just because you're the Theurge in an umbral realm?
She shrugs. Well, I'm the Theurge, and then she went on about my bloodline, like I guess Silverfangs do.
Garrett nods.
And
closes his eyes and nods.
So that's what she's told me, is that once we go there, I have to lead them. And she said that if anyone doesn't make it back, it'll fall on my shoulders.
Yeah, bullshit.
I mean, truth be told, once we do get there, I don't care who has the title of Alpha. I don't care who's running at the front. I'm just going to do what I have to do to get us through and out. Hell, I'll do it from an Omega status. I don't care. But the idea that if we lose someone, it's going to fall to me kind of makes it a little more real than I'd expected it to be. I've been working with everyone. I've been trying to do what it takes to create enough of a bond between me and my brothers and sisters that they will trust me when we get there, but she kind of just shrugs again, looks offside.
Do you think you're a leader?
I think I'm good at getting things done, but I don't think I'm a leader. No one else thinks I am either.
Yeah, leading and taking initiative are two completely different things.
I mean, Chino said that if it comes down to it, he'll have my back and support my lead, but like I said, I don't need to have the term alpha attached to me to do what I need to do. And I guess it makes sense that the urges can be alphas because, I mean, look at the Sept. We're not in the middle of the fight. We're not out away from the group scouting. We're not busy with other things. We can actually look over the whole situation. But when it comes to it and we're there, it's going to be a lot of fighting, I think.
You know, I already heard about this, about Miss Whisper trying to put the mantle of leadership on you.
She sticks her tongue out. You said you didn't know anything about it, Fibber.
I'm sure I don't have to tell you. I'm pretty sure you already know that your blood has nothing to do with you being a leader.
You know that, and I know that, but the rest of the nation seems to have pretty big ideas based on my bloodline.
Yeah.
Like, I'm going with Cinna. Hopefully you'll go too, and I may have to abuse it to get us what we need. But,
oh, no. It's a tool at your disposal.
But yeah.
If you'll remember, I told you to use it to your advantage when we first had our little chat.
Yep. And that makes sense. But if people wanted me to lead, if people wanted to look to me for answers, that would be fine. But trying to take charge with a group that may not trust me doesn't sit well.
You want to know what I think?
Yeah, I always want to know what you think, or I wouldn't talk to you, silly.
I finally had a nice little face-to-face chat with Talia.
Yeah?
Yeah. She's great.
She is.
I mean, her fighting skills are already well known throughout the Sept. But I finally got to...
She's got a good head on her shoulders, though.
Yes.
More so than the other Haroons do.
And here's the thing. She was unknowing. And she's adjusted very well to this life.
Yeah, it seems like all the things that made her, I don't know, made her stick out, made her different before are the things that make her fit in here.
She found herself amplified from the change, I mean.
She nods agreement.
She's letting her instincts kind of guide her. Now, she still has a good head on her shoulders, some common sense, and thinks things through, but I really got the sense that her instincts are in full gear right now.
She's usually pretty on point, yeah.
In Wolfhome, you're only going to have your instincts.
It's true.
Yeah, I think you might be able to follow Talia.
If, like I said, if Talia takes the lead or if Talia has the right idea, I'm all for following whatever. She kind of shakes her head a bit. I follow better than I lead. It's easier to look at the situation when you're not at the head of it. If she takes point and starts taking initiative, I'm not going to fight her for it.
No, I get that. I get that you don't want to lead, which is precisely why you shouldn't. But I want to know specifically about Talia. Would you support her over others?
She'll
Would you think
take up a
she's the
thoughtful
best choice?
expression. Talia, well, I mean, like we've said, she's pretty on point and her instincts are usually good. She only seems to ever get in trouble when she starts talking and kind of lets it get away with her. So I think she could do well. I don't think she's done as much in Lupus. I don't know if she knows what to expect or will be the same. There's part of it that's instinct and there's part of it that's just good sense and a desire to survive. And
Mm-hmm.
I hope that she retains the good sense when we get there. And if that's the case and she takes the lead, I'm not gonna combat that. She's one of the people who probably could. Out of all of us. Like, if I had to pick someone out of all of the Cubs to lead the group in Wolfhome, it would either be her or Chino. And Chino's still very aggressive. But
Yeah.
there's a chance that that edge could be needed while we're there. Which is the only reason I still put him up there for even an option.
Talia mentioned Chino as well, and I said that I hadn't gotten to know him well enough to get the measure of his character. But you said something very interesting to me just earlier when you said Chino would support you.
He would. I talked to him about it.
That's gives me pause about him taking the mantle of leadership, you know?
Chino understands that this is what when he said he'd support me, it's because he understands that this has been put on my shoulders and that he would support me in doing what I had to do. He's not gonna hassle people if I tell him that things have changed. He just believes that he needs to do what he needs to do to keep everyone in line and keep everyone alive.
And Garrett kind of shakes his head back and forth while looking up like he's working something in his head.
It's not that he would have picked me as a leader. It's that he would give me the support I need to do what I have to do. Chino and I have gotten along pretty well since he got here.
Sounds like a beta.
I would never say it to his face, but yeah, I guess.
How about Lucas? What does he say about all of this?
I think Lucas is gonna do what Lucas is gonna do, like he always does. He'll test whoever starts taking the lead, probably, to make sure that they're doing the right thing. But if they're doing what needs to be done, he and I are both of a mindset that as long as it's getting done, it doesn't matter.
He nods.
I know that he was pretty sore about Miss Whisper insisting at length that a Ragabash could never be an alpha.
Yeah, he waves it. Garrett waves his hands. Yeah, I know. She's a traditionalist.
She's a lupus too, so.
Yeah.
I think Lucas will have his hands full enough keeping our flanks safe that he's not gonna try to do anything too crazy. And honestly, when we get there, however we initially shape up together is probably how we're gonna stay, because we can't afford to have infighting once we've kind of settled up.
No. And that's why I'm glad you're so receptive to this talk. Didn't want Miss Whisper, her ideas getting in your head. And
Oh, they're in there, but I guess as long as we all get out, I'll take whatever disfavor comes with it if it means stepping out of Alpha. I really don't care who leads as long as we all get out. If
you
I
should
feel like
care.
there's a... Why? Whoever takes the lead and gets us through is the one who needs to be leading. If someone tries to take the lead and do something stupid, they'll get pulled out of leadership. They'll probably get pulled out really hard by Chino.
In Wolfhome, though, you may not be able to afford letting someone mess up and then get pulled out. You need to be able to look at the others, see which one you think is the best, support the one you think is the best. You've still got a little time before you go. Spend this time really getting to know your fellow Cubs. Just me, my personal opinion, I think Talia's got what it takes. But you know the Cubs better than I.
She's looking idly thoughtful, kind of turning things around a bit. I don't know. I kind of wonder if she doesn't doubt herself too much to actually take the lead.
And he grins. No, it seemed to be the first time she'd ever heard it suggested that she might be an alpha when I spoke to her.
Well, I mean, she kind of has... Part of the reason she's fallen in so well is that she's been a... I mean, I don't mean this badly. She's been a good little soldier. She's done what's expected of her, and she's excelled at it. I don't think it's occurred to her to break and take the lead.
There's always been a bigger fish in the room whenever she's had to go to war, if you will.
It's true. And of course, by the time she came around, I couldn't leave Sept, and Lucas had too many eyes on him to get away with it anymore, so she hasn't been out on our shenanigans. She saved our asses on that bridge, though.
Oh?
I guess, I mean, you were there at the end, but once we got to the top, when we were trying to climb back down, just as we started to climb, the rungs had frozen more than we thought, and Lucas slipped. And when he slipped and started to fall, his safety line pulled me off the rungs too. And Talia was the one who managed to hold on until we could get our hands and feet back on the ladder. She had to support both our weight.
OOC. This was when you actually spoke to the blizzard?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I wasn't there.
Oh, I could have sworn you were there. You may have
No.
only come in at the very end or something.
I was there for the test run.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah. So,
Well then my bad.
Let's
info. Strike that from the record. Yeah, when we came back down, Talia went with us. She's a pretty good climber. She had all the gear. She made sure I had proper climbing gloves. And I mean, it went smooth on the way up, and it went really smooth on the rest of the way down. But when we first started climbing down, it was one of those heart-stopping moments. But Talia grabbed on and kept a hold until we managed to get back on the ladder.
Garrett grins.
And to be honest, she kind of took up a thoughtful expression. She did forge ahead, even though Lucas and I had been up it once before. When we got there and we got ready to climb, She didn't have any issue telling us what needed to happen, how it needed to happen, and getting it done. So she'll shrug. I'd say she doesn't perform half bad without someone looking over her shoulder.
Garrett pulls out a new cigarette, lights it, takes a very long drag, breathes out the smoke, and he's just looking like the smuggest motherfucker right now.
Maebh will probably be a good bit amused by his expression. And while he's just over there enjoying his smug little moment, Maebh will actually drop her eyes to the boulder itself, kind of thoughtfully regard it. And she'll glance back up after a couple moments to see if he's still just kind of the cat in the cream over there.
Oh, he's looking at you and he's waiting for you to say something.
I mean, I don't know what else you want. If we get there, and it sounds like you're already doing this, if you convince her that she can take the lead, I'll back her. Chino will back me.
I planted the seed. It's going to be up to you and your fellow cubs to nurture that little alpha in her. Make her really believe that she can do it.
She'll take up
confidence.
A thoughtful expression. Why don't you talk to Olaf some about this whole trap run in the North Woods? See if you can get him to loosen up a bit about it and get us in there.
Wait, he opposes it?
He is overly worried about other people or things coming through and getting caught. I pointed out that if he corded off an area with caution tape or something, no one's going to go in there. But
I thought you were manifesting the traps in the Umbra.
I was. We were talking about doing this in the Tellurian. It would be really hard for me to set that many. I mean, I can, but then I'll know where they all are. And the hope was to get Ragabashes setting the traps, setting actual snares and whatnot. Even if they're nasty traps, we can regenerate as long as it doesn't take something off. We can heal. But whatever the case, even if it has to be in the Umbra, help talk Olaf into it, and I'll nose Talia out in the front when we do it. And see how she does.
Gonna be honest with you, I'm inclined to agree with Olaf here.
You think in a veil-protected area, with the addition of caution tape to make sure that Ken and Garou don't go in, that we have something to worry about? I'm not saying we take over the whole woods. I just figured we can rope off a section for this exercise. We can go back and immediately take down the traps once it's over.
You already got the bear traps or what?
Well, I haven't bought anything. I'm not making much at the zoo. It's about enough to pay for my food.
Yeah.
The occasional little thing here or there, but no, I've just been manifesting them. We could do it in the Umbra, but I'm more worried about the fact that there are spirits there that have the same risk. And there's a lot more spirits than there are any sizable areas in the northern woods.
I wonder, though, with your Hamid mind, it should be way easier to spot these dang things.
Well, we will be running it in Lupus and have to do the whole course without shifting. I mean, otherwise it defeats the purpose. And yes, right now we can think, but that's why Lucas and I are making a point. Like, Lucas and I are doing a practice that will make it easier. It'll make it reflex. So that once we can't access the how it works, we still will understand that if I step on this pedal, it springs open the trap. But for this exercise, I mean, I kind of wonder if Katori doesn't just want it to put the fear of Gaia in us or make us understand what we'll be up against. Give us a chance to kind of brace and be ready for it by having seen it so we don't panic when the time comes. Because I'm pretty sure Laughing Shadow running anyone down is just as scary as a pack of dogs.
I'll talk with him.
Whatever way we have to do it, it's still a chance for everyone to get a taste of it so that they know what to expect.
But you don't need this exercise to work on Talia.
It's an opportunity for us to do things. We lead willy-nilly when it comes to hunts. There's no particular set status for anyone in our hunts. It won't reinforce the idea. I don't think she'll believe it until she leads people and sees it. I know I don't.
No,
That's why I still have so many doubts.
I agree. She trusts her actions.
So if she can get us through and fend off the people chasing us so we can get out of the traps, she'll be more confident about it. I'd probably feel the same way if I could do the same thing.
Yeah, I'll talk to Olaf about it.
Miss Whisper's gonna be so pissed.
About what? Oh, you.
Well, when we get back and she finds out. And I know it's stupid, but at the moment, she's still a dead mother and I'm still a cub. Unless we can arrange my rite of passage for the second we get back or before we go, I'm still under her sway when we get back.
And even then, she's still an Adren.
That's true. What do you do when an Adren tells you to do something that could harm other people, though? Can't you go over their head?
Just don't worry about that for right now. That's should be the least of your concerns.
She's kind of staring, just off, thinking again, rolling ideas around in her head. Rolling the consequences around in her head.
Staying alive in Wolfhome is the most important priority right now.
It is. I wish I could bring the guys' breaths. I wish I could know that they would work when we got there, but...
Nope.
Yeah. You gotta realize, I mean, everyone else has applicable skills. They're fighters. They're scouts. They're sneaks. They're something. Once we get there, and I don't have my higher mind, what do I do?
You look to your alpha.
That's all well and good, but even then, What skills do I even have left at that point? I mean, I'm not going to say I'm useless. I can fight. Not much of a sneak, but I can fight. I'm just not the best.
Maeve, you're more in touch with your wolf than I am with mine.
She
You're gonna be
dons
fine.
a very skeptical expression.
What?
Just because I can take the shape doesn't mean I have its heart. No matter how long I walk around on 4 legs, I'm still going to think. I'm going to think myself in circles. I can't not. All I ever hear from every lupus is that I am not a wolf.
I'm not saying that you don't have room for improvement in that regard or whatever. I'm just saying you're more in touch with it than I am. You'll be a wolf in Wolfhome. You won't be completely caught off guard. And don't consider your Hamid mine a weakness.
I don't.
No, but some of these dang lupuses, they would have you believe it.
They would. And I can understand why. And it's not that I think that it's a weakness. It's that I think that I have to be in balance. I have to be able to hear it and my heart equally. And I don't. I don't know. I think my biggest worry is that we're going to get there and everyone will have their part to play. And I'm just going to be the creamy nougat center and not have any role, not have any purpose besides stay alive.
You're going to need to work as a pack. And everybody in a pack has a role.
She's a little tight-lipped, but listening.
You will have a role there.
I just don't want to turn into dead weight.
Maeve, you're one of the most talented cubs here.
She doesn't seem especially taken aback because it's something she's accustomed to hearing, but I mean, she's understanding and she's nodding faintly, but it's obvious that she's still frustrated with the idea.
Have you tried thinking about what a Theruj does other than spirit shit, you know?
What else do we do? No one else can give me any other answer. I've been trying to find out what the lupus equivalent would be, what their job would be, what they do, but it doesn't seem like they have one. A theurge without their higher mind isn't even a theurge anymore. They're just a kind of bigger wolf.
You know, I've heard the term seer thrown around.
Well, I mean, yes, but that's still part of... You need a higher mind to translate the things you see. I can still offer even primal or feral versions of respect to our prey, but I can't think of what else I would do besides be just one more wolf. Not an especially good fighter, not especially clever sneak or scout, just another wolf.
And sometimes that's all you need.
I guess. Just, it's weird. I've been
Part of-
spending this whole time getting ready for a role and I won't be able to play it there. And I mean, I can still do my part. I'm not that down on myself.
Yeah. That's the thing is, you know, you not being an alpha means you can kind of relax a little bit and wait to be told what to do.
I can follow and be part of the machine, but
Just don't worry about what you can't do. Worry about what you can do.
well, I've been training hard. I've gotten really good at tracking at least, so
Yeah.
hopefully I can serve that way.
You're going to be fine. Just right now, what you can do is be Maebh. Support the people you think you want to support. Look at the group. Be the social machine. Strengthen those bonds.
I'm already trying.
And once you get to Wolfhome, hopefully those bonds will still be there. Be the glue that holds that bond together. That can be your role.
I actually lighten up a bit at that when her expression loosens up a bit, relaxes a little. Well, she's still perpetually thoughtful, but that one finally seems to have hit home.
Every pack needs its center.
Now that I can do. And I won't need my mind to do that. And she'll start kind of nodding and finally, like, kind of come out of her head and really look at him and grin. You know, you're the first person who could give me an answer.
You ask enough questions, you get to the answer.
It seems to take a lot. I'm just going to start coming to you first. It's faster that way.
We'll hold on there, and he holds up a hand. I work better with the more info I have.
Well, of course.
Like me telling you this all now. You've heard a whole bunch of other shit from other people first, and you come and tell me, oh, they told me this, and then I can go, well, actually. So no, just don't make me your first option.
Fair enough. Well, I've wrung an awesome answer out of you. Is there anything else you want to know? Anything you've been trying to look into that I might have heard about? Only seems fair.
Only if there's stuff you want to tell me.
Just a mild eye roll. I'd tell you anything you wanted to know, honestly, within reason.
He shrugs.
I should think about it for a second over what's been going on recently. Kind of ponder back through it. I guess best thing I could do is get you a chance to talk to Chino when he's relaxed, which probably means full of booze. Which I can do. At
What do
some
I need
point.
to talk to Chino for?
You're really good at giving answers once you know the situation, and you haven't had a chance to meet Chino, not properly. I'm willing to bet you haven't had a chance to meet Addie yet, either.
Addie.
She was the new baby before yesterday.
She a Theurge?
Mm-hmm.
Ah, okay.
I mean, she's still kind of a baby, as it were, at least as far as we go. I don't know what she said to Olaf, but Olaf told her she couldn't cook anymore or eat Hamid food, so she hadn't been eating except when we went on our big hunts. So I took her out, taught her how to fish.
Oh, she must have pissed him off.
I don't know. Yeah, she must have done something. But I taught her how to fish, taught her how to pray before, and then offer a prayer for the prey itself. I'm teaching her the second one. And I heard Lily's supposed to be teaching her, but I guess you can ask her if she minds my helping. I haven't really seen
I'll
her
ask.
around. I don't want to step on her toes, but I also don't want Addie to not learn the things she needs to learn.
I don't think Lily would mind too much.
Good.
But no, there's nothing I really need to ask you. You just need to stay focused on Wolfhome and the other stuff we talked about.
Yeah, I gotcha. And you haven't steered me wrong so far, so there's no reason to think this isn't a good idea, not when it makes this much sense.
He grins.
You just gotta make sure Miss Whisper doesn't catch on too fast, or she's gonna give me a bawling out before we ever go.
Again, don't worry about Miss Whisper. Tell her what she wants to hear.
Kind of wrinkles her nose. Oh, I can. I mean, she is a theurge, and she doesn't really come up and offer lessons often, but she watches us. She watches us closely, and I bet she has spirits watching us too. So it may be a little harder to get away with.
I just couldn't care any less about whatever nonsense she's telling you regarding bloodline and all that crap.
Oh, I mean, it's going to be a thing sooner or later. I mean, Chino was going on about how he's pretty sure sooner or later they're going to ship me out a bunch of strong young baby-making Fianna kinfolk. Tell me I have an arranged marriage or something.
Well, yeah, that kind of stuff is unavoidable, but I'm talking about as regards to you. Kinda. It's going to be something you have to deal with. That's what I mean. Not that you are going to become, you know. But
it makes more sense to wait and lead when I'm good and ready, instead of because someone tells me to.
Correct. As far as you and your pack are concerned, your bloodline is nothing.
And she gives a firm little nod. I think I like it better that way. And she'll
Anything
finally
else?
kind of... Sorry, go ahead.
He was just going to ask you anything else I can do for you.
She'll kind of hop up and gather up the blankets again, and again kind of pause and just look at the rock. Look at it real good. And look back at him. So, have you ever seen a symbol for earth or stone that made any sense? Like besides a rock?
Dirt.
I've seen the alchemical symbol, but meh.
You're barking up the wrong tree here, Maeve.
Yeah, it was worth a shot.
Why?
Because I'm gonna do my thing, obviously.
What thing?
I want to make an earth talon, and I'm not gonna make one of those silly cookies either.
Oh. Okay.
But if I'm going to make a talon, and it is a spirit that I've never met before, I need to try to find some shape or symbol or representation that will appeal to the spirit as much as possible. And I mean, you can't exactly take a lump of clay and just bake it and put it on a necklace and call it a rock. It just looks stupid.
Garrett shrugs his shoulders. I just didn't want you to do anything weird spirit-wise to the rock. People already think it frickin' moves.
I wouldn't do anything wrong to the rock.
Don't do anything to the rock, right or wrong.
He quirks a brow.
He's pointing at you like, don't you dare.
She will affect an innocent face as best she can, which probably isn't very good now that I think about it and look at my dots, or lack thereof. Let's see how convincing she is, just for lulz. She's reasonably convincing. At least it doesn't look completely put on. He probably knows better.
What kind of roll was that?
That was... I don't have any dots in subterfuge.
Okay.
That was the innocent face. At least she doesn't totally flub it. Like I said, I imagine he'll see right through it, but...
Oh, yeah, he does.
Yeah. Oh, hey. Oh, actually, yeah, you've got a specialty, I'm sure.
Yeah, body language.
Oh, yeah, he sees right through it, but at least it's a fairly convincing innocent face to the casual observer.
So basically, she's just trying to act like she's thinking about something, but she's really not.
It's that whole, me? No. But, like, a more convincing version. Not convincing enough for Garrett, but just and I would never... sort of thing.
I mean it. You don't touch the rock in the Umbra or the Tellurian.
You realize the rock's in my front yard. I've touched it about 1 million times, right?
I mean spirit shit.
Are you guys planning to live on the rock forever?
It's kind of our thing.
Aren't you living in our apartment?
It's where Dizzy lives, and I stay here often, okay?
So we give up the apartment and Dizzy won't live there?
It's a pack thing.
Well, I mean, you're supporting her makes sense. I just... shrug. Seems weird not to take the easy, warmer option.
Lucas is going to kick us out of there once he becomes Cleeth. It's not a permanent solution.
She'll ponder it for a second. Can we compromise?
Compromise what?
If I do try to do anything involving the rock, I'll go through Lily. She'll understand what I'm trying to do because she's a theurge. And without her permission, I won't touch it.
And he's wagging his finger at you.
She, of course, looks scandalized. He would think such ill things. Totally scandalized.
You'll go to Lily.
I'll go to Lily. I want to do something nice, not make you angry.
And he relaxes a bit, leans back.
Then she'll smile. Kind of shuffle the blankets. Go about kind of casting them around herself again. She'll do this hilarious process. Essentially, like, flop them across her back, kind of bend over a bit so they'll stay there, and then shift down again so that she's draped over once more. You can stick her tongue out. Her nose and tongue are barely visible from under the blanket, but they're there.
You're still under that ban from the blizzard?
Yep. Can't use shelter. Can't use fire. I can eat warm food. I can drink warm things. Wrapping up in a blanket doesn't produce heat. It's just trapping the heat I already have. And usually, she kind of noses off in a direction. Usually, I end up sleeping over by Albert.
He reaches into his pocket and he produces a little water skin. And extends it to you.
And she'll tilt her head a bit.
Try a bit.
Ah, need thumbs. Snaps back to Hamid. At least that part's easy. And being the ever so trusting person she is totally not going to take a swig of that without sniffing at it first. But she will accept it and then pop it open, take a whiff.
Oh, it's something strong.
And she kind of glances down at it and looks at him. You're trying to kill me, aren't you?
No.
Whew. This smells, and she kind of sniff. This smells worse than the stuff that Chino had me drink.
Oh, it is.
Ugh. You know what? I'll take fake warm. And she doesn't kick it back. Not like, any sort of practiced drinker would. She just kind of, she does it wrong. You can imagine watching her take shots is pathetic. She kind of, she doesn't know how to throw it back past her tongue. She just takes kind of a swig and probably pulls an incredible face.
And it burns as it glides across your tongue and then goes down your throat because it's ghost pepper moonshine.
Oh, Jesus.
And you have to make a stamina roll, difficulty 8.
You made me do this in Hamid. I hate you a little.
Yeah.
Want to see this stamina roll? It's fantastic. Oh, I botch.
You botch. Okay. You actually start retching then.
Yeah. Yeah, she does. You didn't even have to tell me there were ghost peppers in it. That's just what she'd do. Though, if you don't want to lose the wineskin, you're probably going to have to snatch it pretty fucking fast because she's not minding it.
He's going for it.
Yep. She kind of takes this horrible swig, manages to roll it around in her mouth some, and what with the ghost peppers and all.
He botches the dexterity roll to catch it, so it goes all over the ground.
Serves him right. And she just starts gagging and retching and just looks fucking miserable. And just, kind of pitches the water skin. Why would you do that?
You cold?
I think I'm going to be sick.
Yeah, took your mind off the cold.
I was fine. I had blankets.
Well, now you're more fine.
And I imagine it's going to take a while before she stops gagging and kind of heaving. At least she's doing an admirable job of keeping her lunch down, as it were. Not that she's had much in the way of lunch, but she's still just, there's going to be a lot of like essentially dry heave sort of motions. Not fun to watch.
It wears off. Go sleep it off.
Oh, I don't think I love you anymore. Oh, that's, don't give that to anyone ever.
It's all gone now. I'm going to have to get Dizzy to make me some more.
No, don't. Oh, what is wrong with you? Why do people drink things that are so disgusting?
And he shrugs.
She just bundles up in her blankets and huffs off, pausing every so often to kind of catch herself. And so with that cinematic sort of scene of Garrett probably looking smug as hell because he's a jerk face up on his rock, the water skin laying in the snow, depleted of its contents, and Maeve shuffling off, pausing every so often to kind of retch, catch herself, and continue on. So with that, we will say thank you, players, for playing. Thank you, watchers, for watching. And we'll see you next time that Garrett tries to feed Maeve something completely disgusting.